You've been told a lie, a simple, venomous lie, whispered down through the ages until it hardened into truth. The lie is this, that Medusa was a monster. But what if her petrifying gaze wasn't a curse, but a weapon? What if her serpentine hair wasn't a mark of monstrosity, but a crown of thorns? And what if the goddess who created her wasn't acting out of jealousy, but out of a terrible, divine, and inescapable form of justice? Forget the monster. Today, we uncover the woman, and we decipher the truth of the last thing her victims ever saw. The chronicles of men remember Medusa as a beast to be slain, a trophy for a hero's shield. But this is the end of a story, and the lawkeepers of the forgotten ages know you must always begin at the beginning, when the threads of fate are still soft and pliable. Before the snakes, before the stone, there was a woman. Imagine, for a moment, that you are her. You are a priestess in the service of Athena, the goddess of wisdom, of courage, of just war. Your devotion is as pure as the white marble of the temple where you serve. Men say your beauty rivals the goddess herself, but you pay them no mind. Your life is one of prayer, of ritual, of quiet reverence. You walk beneath the gaze of the great statue of Athena, and you feel not fear, but safety. You are in the heart of a divine fortress. You believe you are untouchable. This is the first part of the lie, that her story begins with her own vanity. No, her story begins with her faith, a faith that is about to be shattered. For a god has been watching you, Poseidon, lord of the sea, the earth shaker, a being of primordial power and even more primordial ego. He sees your beauty not as a thing to be admired, but as a thing to be conquered. He wants you, and the laws of gods and men mean nothing to a being who commands the tides. He comes for you not in the chaos of the open sea, but here, in the hallowed, silent sanctuary of his rival Athena. You run. The cold of the marble floor is a shock beneath your feet. Your pleas for protection echo off the high ceilings, unheard. Here, at the very altar of your goddess, in the one place in the world you felt absolutely safe, he commits the ultimate act of sacrilege, an act of violence not just against you, the mortal priestess, but against the very sanctity of the divine. And when it is over, and the silence returns, it is heavier, colder than before. You are broken, but your trial has only just begun. For now, the goddess appears. And this is where the lie takes its deepest root. The common telling, the one you've always heard, claims Athena is enraged. But at whom? Not at the god who defiled her temple, but at you, the victim. The storytellers say she was jealous of your beauty or furious that her sacred space was polluted. And so, in an act of petty, cruel injustice, she punishes you. She twists your beautiful hair into a writhing mass of serpents. She makes your face so hideous that any who look upon it are turned to stone. She casts you out, a monster, to a desolate island. But does that feel right to you? Athena, the brilliant strategist, the font of wisdom, the dispenser of justice. Would she punish the victim and let the perpetrator go free? Was it simple, divine cruelty, or was it something else entirely? The chronicles say a monster was created, but was it a punishment, or was it an answer? Let us look closer. To understand the riddle of Athena's choice, you must understand a symbol, an image that haunted the ancient world long before this myth was ever written down. It is the Gorgoneon, the face of a gorgon, with its wide eyes, bared fangs and serpent hair, was not originally a portrait of Medusa. For centuries, it was an apotropaic symbol, a magical ward. You would find it carved above the doors of temples, painted onto the shields of warriors, even pressed into the clay of a kiln to protect the pots from breaking. Its purpose was singular, to ward off evil, to repel it, to turn it away. Now hold that thought in your mind, a symbol of protection. Let's return to the temple. Athena is faced with a cosmic dilemma. A god, her rival Poseidon, has committed an unforgivable act within her own domain. But he is a god. She cannot strike him down. The laws that bind even Olympus are complex, and a war between two of the most powerful deities would shatter the world. Divine justice is not always swift, and it is rarely simple, so she cannot touch Poseidon. But she can answer him. She can respond to his act of profane power with a divine act of her own. She looks at you, at her priestess, desecrated, vulnerable, a mortal woman in a world of predatory gods and men, a world where even the holiest of ground is no longer a sanctuary. She sees that your faith has been broken, but your spirit is not yet extinguished. You prayed for protection, and in that moment, the goddess failed you. She will not fail you again. The change begins. You feel a strange power coiling in your hair, a new and terrible fire behind your eyes. This is not the withering of a curse, it is the forging of a weapon. Athena is not taking your beauty as punishment. She is removing it as a target. She is stripping you of the vulnerability that drew the predator's gaze. The hair that men so admired, the hair that Poseidon grabbed, now writhes with a life of its own, each serpent a hissing warning. Your face, once a source of unwanted attention, is now a mask of righteous terror. It becomes the living embodiment of the Gorgonean, the ancient ward against evil. And your eyes receive the darkest gift of all, the power to meet the gaze of any who would seek to harm you, to dominate you, to possess you, and turn them into stone. She gives you the ultimate defense, an absolute unbreachable power to say no. Do you see it now? This was not a punishment. It was an armoring. It was a transformation. Athena could not restore your stolen innocence. No, the world of gods is a cruel one. But she could give you power. She could make you into the very thing that would prevent such a violation from ever happening again. She made you unassailable. She made you the protector that she, in that moment, could not be. She banishes you to a remote island not to hide your shame, but to create a new kind of sanctuary, one of your own making. Your island becomes a place of final judgment. Men, drawn by the legend of a monster, come seeking glory. They are not heroes, they are predators, just like Poseidon, seeking to conquer and claim. They see a beast to be slain. They do not see the woman inside. And you meet their arrogant gaze. One by one, they become stone, statues of hubris, monuments to their own aggression. Your home becomes a garden of warnings, a silent testament to the fate of those who see a woman as a prize. The lie told you that Perseus was the hero of this story, a brave demigod sent to slay the monster. But what is he truly? He is a man sent by another man to kill a woman who has dared to defend herself. He doesn't face you. He is told explicitly not to meet your gaze. He uses a polished shield as a mirror, a trick. He approaches you while you sleep, defenseless. He is no hero confronting a monster. He is an assassin beheading a survivor in her sleep. Even in your death, the power Athena gave you endures. The lie says Perseus put your head on his shield as a gruesome trophy, but he did exactly what generations of warriors had done before him. He placed the Gorgoneon, the ward against evil, on his shield for protection. Your face, even in death, continues its sacred duty. It is not a symbol of his victory. It is the source of his power. So why was this lie told? Why was the survivor remade into the monster? Because the truth is far more uncomfortable. It is easier to believe in a world of brave heroes and hideous monsters than it is to accept a world where gods can be predators, where justice can be imperfect, and where a woman's righteous fury is so powerful it can turn a man to stone. The story of Medusa is not a myth about a monster. It is a myth about the failure of protection and the birth of a terrifying, self-made power. It is a story of what happens when a woman who has been violated is given the means to ensure it never happens again. Her gaze does not represent evil. It represents a final, absolute consequence. It is the reflection of the beholder's own monstrosity, made permanent in stone. The lie we were all told was designed to make you fear Medusa. The truth is, you were only ever meant to fear what she represented. A power that says no, and a gaze that holds the world accountable. She is the eternal echo of an ancient injustice, and a timeless warning that those who hunt for monsters should be very, very careful, lest they find themselves staring into a mirror